care what others think about you. A lot of people say you shouldn't care what other people think about you. Wrong. If you're a Christian, you should definitely care what other people think about you to an extent. Now, before you click off, let me explain. Christians should be an example. If you're a follower of Christ, you should be setting an example for other people around you. Because setting the wrong example to the wrong people watching you could stir them away from Christ. How many times have you seen a so-called Christian do something not aligned with the Word of God, and it makes you feel some type of way? Before you found Jesus, before all that, you would see, say on social media or in the news or anything, a pastor molested a child, or a pastor was stealing money from the church, something like that. And then you get that thought, these Christians are all the same. These damn Christians are all the same. They're nothing but some liars and hypocrites. You need to care what people think about you. What I'm really saying is you need to care about setting a good example for Jesus. There was a verse, I think it was in 1 Timothy, let no one despise you for your youth, but set the believers an example in speech. Because I've seen it firsthand where non-believers will see a Christian do something wrong, and that doesn't mean you have to be perfect, but they would see a Christian do something wrong or awful, like the examples I had just mentioned, and it would completely stir them away from the church. It would completely stir them away from God, because it comes back to them as all Christians are like this. They're all hypocrites. Now, when I say care what people think about you, of course I'm saying set a good example for the new people who don't know Jesus yet. Set a good example for the people who haven't found out about Jesus yet. You don't want to give them a bad first impression, because you shouldn't care what people think. Now, don't misinterpret me. You shouldn't care what people think. Being a Christian is a lot about not caring what people think, but you should care what people think in a way of setting a good example for people who aren't Christian, or even other Christians. Help them like be inspired by the way you move, the way you talk, the way you act. Now, that does not mean you should go off and care what people think literally, but you need to keep in mind, all right, so my camera died, but keep in mind the people watching you are soaking in the energy you're giving off. The way you move, the way you act can affect how others look at Christianity as a whole. And whether you feel like that's your problem or not, we want to set a good example so others can see how we're living and want to try to do the same. That's exactly the point. And that idea can also help you, and I know it helps me mentally, to strive to be better, not just for me, but for others watching me. Because one thing you're going to realize is when you become a Christian and a follower of Christ and you make it public, people are going to watch you a lot closer. They're going to wait for you to mess up, and you will. And I'm not talking about making mistakes, because we're all going to make mistakes even after we come to Christ. But people are going to watch you so much closer and just wait and hope you fail. I've seen it firsthand. All right, this guy's a Christian. Let's see what he does. He's going to slip up once. All Christians are the same. And I'm not talking about making mistakes. I'm talking about openly sinning, openly, clearly showing off a way of living that isn't designed with Christ, but you publicly state with your words that you're a Christian. Can give the wrong idea to the ones who aren't Christian and have that mindset of all Christians are the same. They're hypocrites. They're idiots. They are Jesus freaks. All kinds of things. So I'm gonna try to make it clear. Care what people think about you for people, not for yourself. If you care about people, if you're a follower of Christ, you want to care about people, probably do. You want to set a good example for people. You want people to come to the light. You want people to come to Jesus. If you care about people and you're a follower of Christ, would you care about people? And if you want that, you'd want to care what people think about you. So you can be an example so people can come to Jesus, and you could be an example for them. I think that pretty much covers it.